Hey everybody, this is Laura Robinson with the Chattanooga Area Food Bank, and it is February 1st, 2024, and I am going to give you a walkthrough of what's going on in our garden right now. Surprisingly, there's a bit happening, even though it's been quite wet and we've had lots of chilly weather over the last month, but we're kind of chugging right along. So I'm just going to walk through a few things in the garden. First of all, we have daffodils coming up already. So I think this is just the second year that they have been planted here, so we'll see what happens and how the weather progresses over the next few weeks. I'll walk through a couple of things. I have a squirrel, friend slash foe. And you can see he has just kind of nibbled the tops right off of a lot of these carrot greens that have been here since last fall. So we'll see what happens in that bed. The mosh, which I think I've talked to you guys about in previous videos, it grew pretty well. They're such little small clumps that you don't get too much quantity out of them. But I do like the fact that I just left them completely uncovered this whole season and they didn't skip a beat. Like, they look perfectly fine through all of the super cold weather that we've had. So if you're looking for a salad green and you don't have any row covers or anything, this one is good to grow, I think, even though it's, kind of limited. The cilantro came through the cold weather okay, and just a couple of the dill plants, but then the majority of the dill died back. While we're here, I'll just show you, I have started, I don't know how many of you have heard of or do winter sowing. It's basically where you create these like almost little mini greenhouses, as you can see with these plastic containers. So you cut them almost in half, plant your seeds, put tape along the outside to keep them closed, and you keep the tops open so that it can get rain naturally. And it's supposed to be great for like perennials and flowers that need cold stratification. So it kind of lets them the seeds naturally wake up after being outside in the cold weather. So they kind of naturally wake up as if they were planted in the ground from last season. So it's kind of interesting. I tried it last year. I didn't have great luck. I'm trying it again this year. But if you're interested in it, I would just look it up online. I think there's tons of information online about winter sowing. Most of the herbs did okay. The red sorrel continues to be one of my favorite. It's just like a tangy green, and you can see some of the leaves did have some damage from the cold weather, but it's still fine. Like, you just pick away the dead stuff. And I just think it's so pretty. I love it. All the leeks and garlic, all that, you can see there's a little bit of dead on here, but these always have come through really well over the cold months. I did plant, and actually a lot of this stuff I did cover when it got really cold out, but you can see like all this mustard that I started a few months ago inside that got planted maybe shortly after the holidays. I covered it up and it kind of made it through the cold weather okay. This bed is the same, lots of like different types of mustard. It was like some kind of mustard mix. I have more of that in here, plus Swiss chard. The Swiss chard is probably one of the more tender greens, and so I definitely have had that covered up. Plus it's one that the squirrel likes as well, so I have to keep this covered. Cabbages came through the cold weather pretty good. I've harvested a few, and you know what, my labels disappeared, so I could not tell you what type of cabbage this is, but it's a type that it's already formed up a few heads. So I've harvested some here. I have not harvested any here. This is like the Asian type of lettuce, like Napa cabbage. And it has plenty of greens, it just hasn't really formed up a head yet. So I'm not sure if that's coming or if the weather has affected that. And then I have a good amount of Savoy cabbage, which I think this comes through the cold weather the best. But again, it's been pretty slow growing. Lots of dino kale, which has been doing pretty good. What do I have in here? Oh, beets. Beets again are, because they're related to Swiss chard, I feel like the greens are more tender when it comes to cold weather, so I've definitely had these covered. And also the squirrel loves the beet greens, so oh, look, this is what he does. The squirrel takes the beet greens and like nibbles on them and then just leaves them on the edge of the bed to show me that he's been here. More cabbage, more kale, which I planted. I think this is like the Siberian kale, and it seems a lot more affected by aphids than some of the other types. I don't know if anybody else has that experience. It's supposed to be the most cold hardy, but I don't know that I would grow it again actually. Under here, you can see this, I don't know if you can tell in the video, but this is plastic. I am trying to do a little experiment. Nothing's germinating yet, but I planted some fava beans in this bed and peas in the bed at the end, and I'm just trying to create like a little kind of greenhouse effect with the plastic, trapping in the moisture and the heat. So TBD on if that works. I know I did this last year, I just can't remember what I did it with. But I'm pretty sure fava beans were one, so I'm really hoping to get that to germinate, kind of get a head start on the spring vegetables. I have collards under here, which came through the freeze okay. Again, I just have them covered because the squirrel has been picking at them. Same with this bed. And the Alabama blue collards, they really kind of show their blue color once they get cold, and I think they're just really pretty. So I like growing those. So I started some lettuce in the greenhouse in the beginning to middle of December, and I had it under a grow light, which I'll show you when I go inside. And so I have quite a bit of lettuce right now, and so I've filled up a few beds with lettuce, and I've read recently that red lettuce tends to be more cold hardy. So I tried like various types of red lettuce. So we'll see kind of how that progresses. And then I have a little bit of spinach in the back here, which I had barely any spinach germinate in the fall. I was hoping to have like 2 full beds of it, and it just hasn't worked out that way. So I have a little bit here and there though. I have more lettuce under here. You can see, and just a little bit more spinach, but not much. More garlic. The purple broccoli, I had it covered during all the cold, but it really is struggling. It does not look great. Quantity wise, I feel like for how big these plants get, I just don't know that I think they're interesting to grow. I don't know that I probably get too much quantity from them, but they do have these side shoots that you can continue to harvest. So it's, I think, a good just kind of demonstration, but maybe not. You might be able to better utilize your space using other things. Let's see if there's anything else out here that I wanted to show you. I think a lot of the other beds are just kind of more of the same of what I've already showed you, so I just wanted to go through some things in the greenhouse. So I have a bunch of seedlings already started. A lot of Asian greens have germinated really well. I have some collards. Again, this is more of that lettuce that I started back in December. I'm growing a few things that I haven't grown before. This is called perpetual spinach, which is actually Swiss chard that is supposed to be more hardy in the when it gets starting to get warm out. So I thought it would be a good one for the spring because maybe it'll last into the summer a little bit. More Asian greens, some Swiss chard, Asian greens. I got a little bit of nasturtium to grow, some onions. What's over here? Oh, more Asian greens, a little bit of marigolds, and then over here I kind of did a fun experiment in December where I took cuttings off of a fig tree and tried to root them, and I got a good amount to root, and then when I kind of separated them out of a larger container, some of the greens started to die back. So I'm not sure in the end how many fig trees I'll get out of this, but I should have some to share hopefully. So let me know if you would like a fig tree to plant in your garden. And then I have a bunch of strawberries from last year that I brought inside, and they keep just growing more strawberries. So they just keep growing and growing. They haven't really slowed down too much. And then I'll just show you over on this side. I have a couple, this is something new I've done this year. I got a couple racks of grow lights here, and then just starting a bunch of flowers and more greens down at the bottom. So hopefully next month I'll be able to show you what has germinated and let you know if I have anything from this round to donate. So let me know how things are growing where you are and what you're looking forward to in the spring, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, bye-bye.